Everyone talks about investing, building credit, and chasing higher returns, but almost no one talks about the real power of simply having cash. Not theoretical wealth, not numbers on a screen, real money sitting in your account that you can access immediately. No selling, no approvals, no waiting. Somehow, cash has become the overlooked, almost embarrassing part of personal finance. Like if you're holding too much of it, you must be doing something wrong. But the truth is, having meaningful cash reserves might be one of the strongest financial positions you can put yourself in. And once you see the logic behind it, it changes how you think about money completely. Because most financial advice is built around optimizing numbers, higher returns, lower fees, maximum compounding. But numbers on paper don't equal power in real life. It's like knowing everything about nutrition, but still feeling unhealthy every day. Strategy means nothing if it leaves you stressed, stuck, and unable to act when it matters most. Real wealth is not just about net worth, it's about flexibility. It's about having options. It's about being able to move when everyone else is frozen. First, cash gives you power in chaos. People love to say, buy the dip or be greedy when others are fearful. It sounds great in theory, but in reality, when markets crash, most people can't do anything. Their money is already invested, often down 25 to 45%. They're watching their portfolios shrink. They're afraid to sell. Some are dealing with margin calls. Others are just hoping things recover. And the last thing they can do is come up with fresh capital. They're stuck. But the person holding significant cash, they're not stuck. They're active. They're buying assets at deep discounts, sometimes at 45 or 60 cents on the dollar. They're picking up real estate from distressed sellers. They're stepping into deals that will shape their financial future for years. This isn't theory. It happened in 2008, it happened again in 2020, and it will happen in the next downturn. Let's make this real. Imagine you held on to $220,000 in cash for several years. People around you constantly criticized that decision. They told you inflation was eating your money alive. They showed you charts of what that money could have become in the market. They called you too conservative. Then a crisis hits. The market drops nearly 38% in a short period. Fear spreads everywhere. Jobs, businesses, housing. People are panicking. But you're calm. Not because you enjoy the chaos, but because you have options. While others are trying to survive, you're making moves. You buy stocks at steep discounts, you acquire a property at nearly 35% below its previous value from a motivated seller. Fast forward 5 years, that same $220,000 once criticized has turned into over $900,000 in combined assets. But even more important than the money, you never felt trapped during one of the most uncertain periods in recent history. That's the difference between looking rich on paper and actually having power in real life. Second, cash gives you something even more valuable: walk-away power. Ask yourself this: how different would your life look if you had 18 to 24 months of living expenses sitting in cash right now? Not tied up in stocks you'd have to sell at a bad time, not locked in real estate, just liquid, available immediately. Suddenly, things change. That job you hate doesn't feel permanent anymore. That toxic environment loses its grip on you. You're not forced to tolerate bad situations just to survive. You gain leverage. You can say no. You can negotiate. You can walk away. And here's the interesting part. This doesn't just protect you from bad situations, it actually attracts better ones. When you're not desperate, people can feel it. Employers treat you differently. Business partners negotiate differently. Even your personal relationships shift in healthier ways because you're choosing, not clinging. Meanwhile, many people who appear successful are quietly trapped. High income, high expenses, no margin. They're stuck maintaining a lifestyle that depends on every paycheck. But someone earning less with strong cash reserves often has far more freedom. They can take risks, they can pivot, they can walk away from anything that doesn't align with their goals. Third, opportunity cost works both ways. Yes, cash loses value over time due to inflation. That's the argument everyone makes, and it's true, a dollar today will likely buy less in the future. But what's rarely discussed is the cost of not having cash. Investments carry risks too. Markets can drop 25, 40, even 50% in a short time. And while they often recover, what happens if you need money during that downturn? You're forced to sell at the worst possible moment. You lock in losses that didn't have to exist. And beyond that, you miss opportunities. A business deal that requires immediate capital, a property selling far below market value, a chance to invest during a major downturn. None of that is available to you if all your money is tied up. Let's break it down simply. Missing an 8% annual return on $120,000 might cost you around $9,600 a year. But missing a once-in-a-decade opportunity to acquire an asset at nearly 50% discount could cost you hundreds of thousands over time. Which loss matters more? Most people focus on the small, predictable loss of holding cash. Almost no one accounts for the massive, unpredictable loss of not having it when it matters most. Fourth, cash isn't defensive, it's offensive. It's not just an emergency fund, it's an opportunity fund. It's what allows you to act while others hesitate. The wealthiest individuals understand this deeply. They don't see cash as idle, they see it as potential energy. Even someone like Warren Buffett consistently holds tens of billions in cash, not because he doesn't understand investing, but because he understands timing. The best opportunities show up when liquidity disappears, and if you don't have cash at that moment, you're not in the game. The power of cash exists precisely because most people don't have it when they need it most. Finally, cash makes you a better investor. When you have liquidity, you can think clearly. You're not reacting emotionally to every market movement. You're not forced into bad decisions because of pressure. You can be patient, and patience is one of the most valuable advantages in finance. You don't panic sell, you don't chase hype, you don't act out of fear. You wait, you observe, you act when it actually makes sense, because you can afford to. That's the real shift. Cash isn't about avoiding risk, it's about gaining control. It's about creating a position where you're never forced into a bad decision. Because at the end of the day, real wealth isn't just about how much you have, it's about what you can do with it when it matters most. I just want to take a moment to genuinely thank you for being here and spending your time with me. In a world full of noise and distractions, the fact that you chose to listen, to learn, and to invest in yourself truly means more than you might think. I don't take your attention for granted, not even for a second. Every view, every minute you stay, every thought you reflect on, it all matters. And if something in this video helped you see money, discipline, or your future a little differently, then that means everything to me. If you found value in this, do me a small favor. Hit the like button so more people can discover this message. And if you're serious about improving your financial life and building long-term wealth, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the next insight that could shift your mindset or change your strategy. And before you go, drop a comment and tell me one thing you're going to change after watching this, because real change starts with one decision.